is a Bramble Jam podcast. Get a clue. Hello, everybody.
Oh, boy.
Welcome to another episode of
Yes, sir.
Decom Descendants and Brand. This is Aaron. That's Dan.
Hi.
Oh, you're Dan?
That's me, believe it or not.
Your wily group
Get a clue, man.
of descendants. Excited to talk about today's movie.
Nailed it.
Get a Clue is what we're talking about today. The Lindsay Lohan classic. Of course, Brenda's song in it as well. Very excited to talk about it.
Yeah.
Guys, how are we today? Are we doing well?
Amazing.
Are we doing well?
I've never had a better first day.
The first day we're having is unbelievable.
great
I got a great night's sleep last night. It's been a normal few weeks, really in routine, in the pocket, some would say.
I would.
Rip roaring ready to go, Brandon.
You know what I want to know, Dano?
What's that?
Are our listeners in the review pockets?
Oh,
are
they're in the review
Are
pockets.
they leaving reviews? Are they
Yeah,
out
we're up
there?
to 135.
Woo!
There's some fun ones out here.
We're creeping up.
This one right here that I'm going to read for you is from Lunar Echo 1. Lunar Echo 1.
Ooh.
Lunar Echo 1. We have a problem. This is the title of the review is A Great Time. And
Okay.
Lunar Echo 1 says, I grew up watching DComs and I'm around the same age as Brandon and Aaron. So when they speak of how they felt as a kid watching, I relate so much. Did I read this review last week?
I don't think so.
I mean, when we were 8 and they were great after all. However, as a 34-year-old, the more I hear Dan talk about his feelings watching them today, the more I totally understand.
No.
I find myself waiting to see how he reviews the movie before I decide if my kids can watch them. If you're looking for a great time that will have you laughing the whole episode, this podcast is for you. Also, Brand, sorry to tell you, but Brink is not the greatest movie of all time. I have Johnny Tsunami at the top of my list. Lunar Echo 1.
Not a bad review.
Goes without saying, this is good stuff here.
Yeah.
I have no notes here. All of it good. You recognize Aaron and Brian are great people, but you're listening to me, so everything there works. Yeah, it works for me. I'm here for it.
Don't like it, don't appreciate it. I do appreciate you leaving the review, though. It's nice
5
enough, I
stars.
guess, to do that. We're up to what did you say? 138? 135?
135.
That feels good, though. Keep
We're
them coming.
fixing to get ready to be halfway to 300.
That's exciting, and we're not even halfway
we're,
through
like,
the.
there.
We're not even halfway through the decoms.
Brand, we
And so
did it.
We're pretty much there.
If you think about it that way, if we get one review for every episode,
We won't get there.
We will get close from now on.
What do we have? 110 more of these bad boys? So you'll get to
We'll
245?
get close, and
Be
then we just need a
55.
few.
Well, there was 114 to start. So
Oh, there's only
We've seen-
114?
I think
And
so.
we've done 3 of them? Oh,
if we
you
get
guys are in
3
trouble.
reviews every episode, we'll be in good shape.
Yeah, you'll be fine then. Yes.
So if you think about it that way, that's actually really obtainable.
Yeah, we got this.
Speaking of obtainable, it looks like there's some stuff over there that I could obtain. It's the Delish segment. I don't know. I'm trying. I don't know. It wasn't my best
It wasn't your
segue. It
best.
wasn't my worst, though. I've had worse
You have
segues.
worse.
Believe it or
Yes.
not. Get a clue. We're in Manhattan. We
Sort of.
are in our leather jackets. We
Yeah.
are getting clues. Aaron, what did you bring to the table? You've brought a whole slew of things today.
I
But
did.
Tell us about it.
This looks planned out.
Well, I'm just gonna say shout out to Dan. He didn't wear a leather jacket, but he is wearing his Sweet Life of Zach and Cody shirt.
That's
so thanks
right.
for being
I'm here. I'm
here with
themed.
us.
Thematic. That's what they call me.
Who's your favorite Sprouse?
Cole?
Okay. Who's the other one?
Carol?
Ah, we're looking for
Dylan?
Dylan.
Yeah,
Yes.
Dylan, of course.
We're
I
looking
knew
for
that.
Nailed it.
Yes.
Carol's her mom.
Do you think Cole's the right answer?
I think I'm gonna go Dylan.
Who's
Okay.
in Riverdale?
Yes.
Give me the Riverdale.
I'm pretty
give
sure
me
it's Cole.
Give me the Riverdale Sprouse. Give me the Riverdale
think-
Sprouse. Although he's been on some podcasts and he's a real tool, so
It's
tough. It's tough.
He is, the Cole is the Riverdale.
All right, give me
Okay.
Dylan.
yeah, Dylan.
Heard less from Dylan. I feel
Yeah.
like. All right, Aaron, we got a whole slew here.
You can't spell decom without D for delish, so here
Or
we
for
are.
Dylan. You
Yeah.
can't spell
D for
decom without Dylan or Cole.
Yeah. So in Dylan's honor
Texas
today.
forever.
When I was thinking about this movie, I know you guys were really excited when they met Mrs. Petrosian that she
Yes.
served them eel. I know you guys were really excited to maybe
Oh,
have
yeah.
some traditional
Eel,
Yes.
eel.
Sorry, since the hurricane, our local eel market is just empty.
Booming.
Oh.
Oh, no. Empty. My bad. Sorry.
Couldn't find any eel.
What?
So the scene that stuck out to me the most from this movie, is the scene at the end where they're having like high tea at the, and there's, they're catching bad guys.
Classic New York
Every
situation.
character we've seen in this movie is for some reason at the same hotel, running around. We have almost like a Scooby-Doo type montage in and out of hotel rooms. And so I was thinking I was going to do our little high tea for us. I did have teacups. They're at home this Thursday morning.
Thursday got the best of us.
He got the best of us, guys. And
Thursday's going to first, you know what I mean?
So we're here in the South. I have some sweet tea.
Sweet tea?
But you can just do whatever you want. Do you want a Long Island iced tea? Maybe.
Yeah.
Do you want regular tea? Just pour your favorite tea. And that's what I have for us here.
Okay.
And then I also prepared a selection.
I'm not a tea fan, no.
Yeah, that's fine. A selection of some goodies to go along with your tea. So I have some fall-themed pastries and a donut from our favorite donut shop, Parlor Donuts. So yeah, just treat yourself on this first day.
Treat yourself.
And if you want eel, I guess treat yourself to that.
Yeah. I don't hate a hot tea, but I don't really like sweet tea.
What kind of sweet tea is that? Did you make that? Or is that like from
It was what Parlor Donuts had this morning.
Oh. It's good. It's good sweet tea.
Yeah.
It's
not the worst
I was kind
beverage.
of surprised. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they had options for sweet tea. And I decided, I just grabbed the regular sweet tea. They did have extra sweet, and I just wasn't sure how we were feeling on this Friddles Day.
What's on your nail?
We've already done this.
Oh, you weren't here for this. Hey, listeners at home, if you're watching this, so
hey,
listeners,
if
I
you're
don't
watching,
think you can see it.
It's Thursday and it's hitting hard.
So currently, it looks like my nails match my red leather
You
jacket.
put a lot of work into this.
Get a clue.
Yeah. So when I am cold, they look red. And when it is hot, they show some fun Halloween designs.
Oh!
You'd think it'd be the reverse.
Dude, the
when
nails,
it's cold
the box
outside,
says,
you're at the fall festival, your nails turn into Halloween decorations. That makes more sense.
the box says they glow in the dark, so we were all lied to. None of this makes
Can we
goodness.
test it out?
Can we sue it? Sue them?
I was going to go turn all the lights off, but I guess
no,
we're
they
doing
don't glow in the
something.
dark. They don't glow in the dark.
Okay.
That has been tested.
Okay.
Lies. They were,
Lies.
You can't
Lies.
do that.
but they were like
Box of
$7.99.
nails.
So I guess what are you gonna do?
You can't do that.
$8 for nails.
Oh.
I don't want to lose money on this stuff.
No, you don't. Hey, let's do this. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk about Get a Clue.
You sure?
It's a big day. It's a big moment for us. We'll be right back here on Decom Descendants.
Decom Descendants. Thanks for waiting.
Thank you so much for waiting.
Thank you. That's right. You
Hello.
didn't even say Decom Descendants. You didn't even say it.
Welcome
You're
back.
trying to warm your hands up over there.
Welcome back to the Lohana-sance.
No, the Lohana-sance is happening now.
the
Ohana
This
means
is the
family.
original Lohan era. This is it.
Yeah.
Yes. We're talking Get a Clue today. I don't know how many movies this is.
34th.
Our 34th.
Furful Day is tomorrow.
Yes.
Oh, we're finally there?
Yeah, I know, right? Time flies.
It originally premiered on the Disney Channel on June 28th, 2002.
What a good day.
That's a
I was
great
about to go into
day.
my sophomore year of college.
We're all enjoying summer vacation.
Yeah.
We're all enjoying summer vacation. We're having fun. It is starring. It's starring Lindsay Lohan. It's starring Brenda Song. It's starring Bug Hall.
No, it's not.
No.
And it's starring Ian Gomez.
And you know what? Here's the best part about this is I can almost guarantee you Lindsay Lohan made more money than Bug Hall for this movie. So shout out. You hear that, Bug?
Patriarchy's alive
You
and
made
well.
less than the woman, just so you know.
Bug probably isn't listening to this because I think he is in some sort of, he took a vow of
Yes.
poverty
Yeah. Yeah.
for him and his heir.
That's right.
It is directed by one
Kathleen
Maggie.
Gabers.
No, Maggie Greenwald is who we're looking for. She's done not a ton of things.
Has
She's
done some Hallmark Christmas, though.
very sporadically, but yes, she did direct Christmas on Honeysuckle Lane, which is fun, and a few episodes of Adventures of Pete and Pete. For those of you that care about that, like
You a big fan of
I do.
Pete?
Pete and Repeat sat on a boat. What is the... Pete got off the boat. Who's left?
repeat.
Pete and Repeat sat on a boat. Pete got off. Who was left?
Dwayne the Water, I'm drowning.
Dwayne the bathtub. You're so close.
Dwayne
Dwayne the water.
Dwayne the Water. Join the water, please. Are we ready to dive in?
Repeat. Yes. Can't spell decom without C for Comchat.
That's right.
Decom descendant.
Lexi Gold.
Thank you for waiting.
And her best friend Jen are uppity ups in Manhattan. They are fancy.
They're in the Upper East Toronto side.
Yes, they are. But you know they're a big deal because they start their mornings by hopping on a video chat on the computer.
It's a big deal.
And
They
talking
slept
about
in their bedazzled headsets.
yes,
So that as soon as one of them woke up,
yes.
that chat was ready to go.
And they
easy.
talk through like, hey, what outfit should I wear? All that good stuff. That's how they start their day. They are serious. And she is pumped to find out that
I mean, it's how we start our days too.
Yeah.
We call each other.
morning-
Hop right out of bed.
we have
I
a
mean, we
morning
plan
outfit
this.
check. Yes.
And
Yeah, fit check.
Yeah.
It's a fit check.
It's a standing meeting. Not like we don't stay. I mean, sometimes we stand, but like it happens.
Yeah.
It's a
every
fit
day.
check. Yes.
She is pumped to find out that her article and photograph that she submitted to the Daily Examiner has been selected for Junior Journalist of the Day.
And I'm so glad that the Daily Examiner, a reputable New York City newspaper, does this for children. They put their articles in the paper.
Yeah.
It's nice.
So cool.
It's
I'd love
nice.
to see some of the submissions that didn't
Didn't
make the
make
cut.
it. And they doing this every day, you said?
I don't know. At least enough to
Is there a
have.
sign of news in Manhattan?
Yeah,
No,
they're
not in
running out.
2002.
You might be wondering what's the article about. Well, she got a. She borrowed her
A real easy time
sister's.
in Manhattan.
She borrowed her sister's special spy camera that takes pictures around the corner.
We all have one.
We all
Yeah.
have one. And she captured a picture of Mr. Walker and Miss Dawson, two teachers at her school, having a bit of a moment. Their hands are touching on the railing, and we all know what that means.
This made national news.
This is news. This is news. This is big stuff. This is, as she says, human interest. Her sister says gossip. Who are we to chime in and share our thoughts? But she gets to school, and it is clear a couple of things. One, all the kids love the Daily Examiner. They've read it, and they are so excited for Lexi.
Every freshman at this school, I'm assuming freshman, started their morning with the Daily Examiner.
Well, if you don't, then how would you know? How would you know what's going on in the world?
I mean, I guess in 2002 you wouldn't.
You wouldn't.
No.
You wouldn't know. The other thing that becomes clear is Mr. Walker. She sees Mr. Walker and he's kind of uncomfortable. Like he seems like a little bit off.
Yes.
So I'm guessing he has also seen the story. Her rival and the editor of the school paper, Jack, is like, your article's trash. It's
You're
gossip.
trash.
You're trash. You're nothing. It's nothing. Get out of here.
Her rival in this school is a 10th grade going on 45-year-old hardened New York journalist.
Yes. It's out. Get out of here.
Get outta
with it.
here.
You're
It's
better than
trash.
this. You're
It's
better than that.
terrible.
It's nothing. And so that's, tough to hear, obviously. She is then walking around the hallway, and she doesn't need any sort of spy equipment to pick up on a conversation that Mr. Walker and Miss Dawson are having out in the open. And it seems like it's quite an emotional conversation. It sounds like a breakup of sorts.
Yeah, I always try to have private breakup conversations in a hallway.
You
School
have
hallway,
to.
Yeah.
During school hours.
Yeah.
Just, hey,
Yeah.
while we have this moment alone
For
where
sure.
no one will be here.
That's right. And kids aren't nosy. They don't care about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
No, they're
And
not.
in a stairwell where like sound travels up, down, like, yeah,
It's up,
best
not
place.
over. That's right. Yeah.
Best place. That sound just stays in that pocket.
Right there.
Right there. And so she hears all of this. And so that is, I know. And that is why the next day when she
I
wakes
have to
up,
rethink my stair conversations.
you can do what you want to. In this case, she heard it.
I
I'm
hold
sure
all our business meetings on the stairs.
Yeah, we
it's
do.
the best. It's the best place to do it. The next day she wakes up and she finds out that Mr. Walker is missing.
Absent.
Absent, if you will.
Absent. Could be dead. Thunderbird pulled out of water.
Daily
pulled-
Examiner headline: teacher marked absent.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, this is headline news. A teacher took a day off
One teacher
in Manhattan.
absent.
Took a day off and the car was pulled out of the water. So
The
it's
car was
pretty-
pulled out that morning.
It was after
so
it
that
went to print, but
turnaround.
They did a second issue. They did a second edition.
we got an update. Detective Mustache is on the case, and he shows up and he asks Lexi about her story. it's it's a little bit suspicious. We pull his car out of the water the day after.
Keeps getting higher.
The day after they pull his car. Your thing, your article.
That's right.
Explain it.
Can you explain the timeline of events again?
So you did this, and the car's pulled out, and then the article. It's clear as crystal.
So this 9th grade girl clearly killed her teacher, I think is what we're saying.
Yes.
Well, if she
Roll credits, get a clue.
If she didn't kill
Wake
him,
up.
she knows something.
Yeah.
She's got to
And
know something.
this highly respected officer with a dope mustache and coffee stains does know that it's legal to interrogate a minor with no adult present.
As long as it's public,
he
you know?
brushed the coffee stains on him. I mean, to spill coffee in the manner he spilt it is
Impressive.
it's
It's
unbelievable.
an impressive amount
Yeah.
of stains on his shirt. After being questioned, she talks to Jack and asks if he'd be willing to partner with her to try to figure out where Mr. Walker is for a couple of reasons. One, listen, Jack's the editor. Jack's pretty good.
Yeah.
Jack's pretty good at getting to the bottom of things. But also, she has noticed that Jack has a special relationship with Mr. Walker. They're close. They're close. And so maybe, Jack, you could help me get to the bottom of this. But they got to be prepared. They got to be prepared for everything. And so Lexi's sister, who is into spy equipment, points them in the direction of the corner
spy
spy
store.
shop.
What's the name of that spy shop?
It's the corner spy
Corner
shop.
Spy Shop.
Got it.
It's right there.
Where's it located?
It's. I mean, I would hope the
You
corner.
have a corner spy shop in my hometown. I mean,
I would have been going
have
nuts.
saved my allowance
I would have been going
to buy
nuts.
the latest spy gear to spy on no one.
Yes. Yes. They do. They get all sorts of gear. Up first, they think, Miss Walker we saw Miss Walker have a conversation with him where
You mean
it's-
Miss Dawson?
Miss Dawson, yes.
I'm about to say,
Miss
Emily
Dawson.
Petraglia?
Yes, sorry. Miss Dawson.
She is currently on the East Coast.
I mean,
So
shout out.
Miss Dawson had a conversation with Mr. Walker. It seemed like they had a breakup. It would behoove us
apparently
to at least
she threatened him,
Yeah.
according to.
Please do our due diligence. here.
just
Yes.
hey, let's make sure nothing shady's going on here. And so they put a camera. Listen, you would know it if you saw it. It's barely there, but they put a camera outside of her window.
I mean,
so
it's a
they
little
can,
bit bigger than 2 chess pieces.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
that swivel.
That swivel,
Yeah.
but not smoothly at all. It actually jerks
No, it
around
kind
a ton.
of. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's fine. No one's gonna know.
No.
And we can keep an eye on her. And so Brenda Song and the guy from The Way Home, they are gonna team up. And they are going to watch the camera here. So you might be wondering, what are Lexi and Jack going to do? Lexi and Jack are going to go to Brooklyn. Going to
Ew.
go to Brooklyn,
Hey.
which Lexi
How do they
is
get
like,
there?
Doing.
they take the subway.
Yeah, and I can't
Which
believe they're
Lexi
going
takes
to
all the
Lexi
time.
does it all the time.
Brooklyn. Oh my god.
They go to check out Mr. Walker's apartment, and in it they find a briefcase, not a
A
briefcase.
briefcase, which is what you get before a briefcase. You work
Yeah,
your way
yeah.
up.
If you listen, a
And then
briefcase
there's
is
has
lot
a
to handle.
briefcase
And then
now.
there's
I
a
have been-
postcase. Yes.
Bran
of
hasn't
course.
gotten to the briefcase
I have
yet.
been
he's
working
getting there.
my way
He's
up
getting
for
there.
a long time, and I didn't want it to come out like this. But yes, they find a briefcase. He's fully briefed, and on it are the initials.
AW?
No,
Oh.
NP.
NP.
Who
I don't
is-
know what Mr. Walker's first name is. I just assume it's
Orlando.
Andrew. Okay.
Andrew, yeah.
Orlando. So who is NP, or what does NP stand for?
Not briefcase.
Not briefcase.
Briefcase would be my guess, but
Neil
again,
Patrick Harris.
yeah, they
Nope.
dropped the H. So they go to Jack's apartment because he lives in Brooklyn. He's at school
Does
on
anything
scholarship.
happen while they're in the apartment?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
The detective show. Another detective.
Another detective.
Not
shows up.
Detective
He's
Mustache.
a vampire.
But another detective shows up. Detective Meanie. Detective Meanie is there, and Detective Meanie is he's very suspicious
And mean.
And he's mean.
Meanie. His
he's
name's
Meanie.
Meanie.
Yes, he's
Charles Meanie. Chuck Meanie, some call him.
Chuck Meanie. He does let them go, but it's contentious. You can cut the tension with a knife, and they don't ask him at all why he's in the apartment with no one else, no backup, no nothing. But whatever, he's a detective. You can do what you want when you're a detective, apparently. And so they go back to Jack's place to look on the computer to see if they can figure out anything about maybe what this NP stands for. And in the process of doing this computer was given to Jack by Mr. Walker. And so Jack looks and finds out that the computer is licensed to a Nicholas
Petrosian?
Expecto Patronus.
Yes, I got tripped up.
Whose initials are NP.
What? Yes.
Yeah.
And
Petrosian.
And while they're there, he gets an email from Mr. Walker.
He does.
Who is presumed dead somewhere. So
say it was like a letter of recommendation
for his scholarship renewal at the school.
That's right, because he's a poor.
He's a poor.
Yeah, and they look up on NewYorkPrivateDetectives.com.
Yep.
They see that there is a Charles Meany licensed in New York, but Lexi doesn't think that he is a real detective because he has a fancy suit, which designer name I remember, and
Pomoni.
alligator boots, and a very expensive
and a
watch.
detective couldn't do that on his salary.
So
this is how rich people think.
There is something fishy going on.
There's absolutely something fishy going on. And so they kind of figure out, hey, maybe that is Mr. Walker's real name. And they find out that this person, NP, Nicholas Petrosian, was accused many moons ago of stealing $10 million and then was missing and presumed dead.
Yes.
And so they are like, oh my gosh, could it be him? And they look up and see if there's any Petrosians in the area, and they find one. It could be his mother.
His mother.
Could be his mother.
Yeah.
And so they knock at the door, and she's like, no one here by that name. But dadgummit, if Mr. Walker, Mr. Petrosian, walks up and is like, they're fine, Ma. They're fine.
Ma, they found me.
They found me. It's family.
Get in here.
He's alive. And he explains.
Oh, kids, I knew you'd do it. You always do your homework.
That's exactly right.
Great.
This is all good stuff.
He
Everybody across the board, I think.
He explains
to...
Yeah, come on.
I put one line in there. I feel good about my contribution.
He explains to Jack and Lexi that he was framed to make it look like he had stole $10,000 from the bank that he worked at, and he was forced to fake his own death. He moved to New York. He became a teacher. He realized that he loves teaching, and life went back to normal. But then he met Miss Dawson, and who can deny
the chemistry of those two?
It's off the charts.
Sorry, Miss
I
Dawson.
might deny some of it, but they don't.
They sure don't, Aaron. And so they're
dynamite dropping.
Loving life. They're having fun. But when the picture of Mr. Walker and Miss Dawson was published into the paper, his face was now out there, and he received a note.
Because, you know, nationwide, everyone is reading the junior
Examiner?
journalist section of the Daily Examiner.
They peel right to that page.
15 years after a crime.
Thanks, Lindsay Lohan, for ruining everything.
Yeah.
Well, you got to keep an eye on it.
Yeah,
you got to keep an eye on it. And so he's like, I received this note saying, you know, I had to show up at a place at a certain time with the money, or else, you know, I know who
my
you are.
My girlfriend.
Yeah. All this stuff. And so the problem, though, is that the letter was smudged. So he
doesn't know exactly where he's supposed to. Oh, my gosh. We're in trouble
Luckily, Lexi's sister, as mentioned, is quite the spy. She has tons of spy gear, including some sort of liquid that unsmudges.
Yeah.
And they're able to...
CSI. Yeah. She's gone to the store around the corner.
I almost wonder if it was like she sprinkled a powder on there, and I'm wondering if the powder stuck to like the grooves of the paper, like when you press down with a pen. Like when you like take a pencil.
They did that on CSI all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only way I can figure this works.
That entire room is equipped with black light, which is very nice.
She presses a button on a remote and the whole living room is black light.
Turns into cosmic bowling just like immediately. It's very impressive.
If you didn't know they were rich before.
Now you know.
That's right.
Yeah.
And they're also super
Dad,
creepy.
can I get some black lights for this room?
For the not a blacklight flashlight, for the entire room of the house.
Above board.
Like on Room Raiders. You know, remember Room Raiders?
I do remember Room Raiders, yes.
The blacklight classic.
What a weird show.
Super weird show.
Weird.
And
we don't have time to discuss
No,
Room Raiders.
we can't.
One time Zac Efron was on Room Raiders. That's all we need to know.
I hate that.
He was raiding the rooms?
Yes.
To pick somebody to date?
I don't remember how it ended, but
I'm sure it was
it was
all above board and
Yeah,
not
I'm
weird
sure
at
there
all.
was nothing weird about that at all.
Nope.
Would you have enjoyed Zac Efron
No.
raiding your room?
I didn't want anyone in my room. Like,
No.
That's the
It's
whole
just
point of the
weird.
show, though.
That's the whole point of the show.
I know. But even like the people when you applied,
It
you
was
didn't.
staged, right? There's no way
100%.
they were
Well, I
raiding
mean-
actual rooms in the condition you would leave them.
Well, I don't know if you
know, 'cause
remember.
you didn't know you were applying for room raiders. You would apply. And, MTV had a whole bunch of different
Tell us
shows.
about the information you know that we don't know.
People were getting
And
their
you would
rooms
apply-
raided and they didn't know it?
And you would be picked for like Next or Room Raiders, but you didn't 100% know. So that's why people were shocked on. At least that's what I've heard. It's been a while.
They
but
I think it was
cannot
staged.
show
They
up in a
cannot
van and
show up
kidnap
in a
somebody.
unmarked van, kidnap you and be like,
Well, I
you
mean,
could
you
be
would
on
have
Room Raiders.
to-
You might just being
you would send in your
being
tape,
kidnapped
and then
right
but
now.
you weren't like applying to be on Room Raiders. You would send your tape, and they would pick you for a show. But then you would have to sign a release.
To be kidnapped.
Yeah, but they know. You just have to
At
know
that
ahead of
point, you
time
would
they're
know.
raiding your room.
Yeah, at that point you would know. But when
You gotta get
when
rid
you
of some
mailed in
stuff.
the tape, you didn't know
Yeah,
that
yeah,
it was you were going to be on. Room Raiders.
I just can't imagine.
Bring
It was
it
a
back.
crazy time.
Bring it back.
Please don't.
Um,
MTV, if you're listening,
So the
bring
gang.
back like TRL.
Yes.
But we're fine on the other stuff.
Yeah.
Brandon and I will host Room Raiders.
Oh, 100%. We're pitching it to Hallmark actually next week. It's gonna be really weird. It's Tyler Hines rating.
Yeah.
No.
Rating.
They could bring back Real World. I would watch that.
I don't care about real.
Can you imagine Tyler Hines rating the room of Heinies? It's just like his biggest fans
Oh. Oh.
I don't like it.
would watch. Hallmark Plus, they're branching out. They're getting weird. You can watch an episode of
So this has
Celebrations.
been a great episode of DCOM Descendants. We're probably just gonna
last.
call it here.
Happy first
sorry,
day, everybody.
sorry, I got distracted.
We said
dreaming.
we couldn't talk about Room Raiders, and we did. It's
And then
fine.
yeah.
It's fine.
They now know where they're supposed to go. One other thing that I forgot to mention, and I didn't write it down, but I just remembered, is on the hidden camera outside of Mrs. Dawson's room. They see their journalism teacher come inside of her, and they like her room.
Wait for it.
He's a room raider, and
Yeah.
he hugs, and there's like a weird stuff.
Well, the best part is for this demonstration, can you pass me CC Leaves?
You nailed it, Brandon.
So they're spying and they're trying to figure out who is at the door. And this man is bringing over a potted plant, and he walks in like this
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
proceeds to walk around the room like this.
Yeah. Super disguised.
So if you're, ever bringing flowers to someone, I don't know why you would hold it there. It seems weird.
Well, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
That's actually maybe good advice. Like, hey, you never know when somebody has a hidden camera outside of their room or in their room, even for that
guess.
matter. And so cover your face.
Cover your face.
Cover your face.
I guess.
And they don't know what's going on there, basically. So they put on their best leather jackets and whatnot, and they all
Their best and their Beth.
and their Beth.
For their briefcases.
And they go to the hotel at a specific time for a little sting operation.
Yes. They've
the-
all got earpieces.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. They're geared up, man.
And
Corner Spy Store. Got them
and
covered.
Walkie-talkie watches, which are
Yes.
undercover, because when you talk like this,
You're
nobody
just
knows.
coughing into your arm. Nobody
Yes.
knows.
Mr. Walker, can you hear me?
No,
Yes, I can. No one knows I have an earpiece in.
There we
no
go.
one knows.
They nailed it.
They see a lot of stuff happen. They
So much is happening in
So
this lobby.
there's a
Miss
lot
Dawson
happening here.
shows up, and they're like, "What's going on there?" The other guy, the other teacher shows up.
Yeah.
They're like,
The
"What's going on
journalist
there?"
teacher. Yep.
His mom, Mr. Walker's,
Petrosian, yeah.
Mr. Petrosian, she
Lohan's
shows up.
dad is there.
They're
Yep.
all like, "What's going on?" And
There's
it's
several other characters that we have met throughout this movie that we haven't talked about because there's no time.
Yeah.
They're also all there.
they're all there. Everybody
Everybody's
is
there.
there. And-
Everyone on the call sheet is in this lobby.
including Detective Meany, who walks in, and Mr. Petrosian is like, "Oh my gosh, that's my old boss at the bank. This all makes sense."
Turns out Meanie is a meanie.
Meany is
Yeah, and also not his
indeed
real name.
a meanie. It's Falco Granville is
That's
his
how
name.
you know. Ain't
And,
never been a good person
I mean,
named Falco
15
Granville.
years ago, if money went missing from my bank and the bank was run by a Falco Granville,
I'd have been
I'm
like,
assuming
this
it's
is
him.
on me. I shouldn't have deposited
I gotta get out of here.
I'm assuming it's
Falco
him anyway.
Granville.
So
Yeah.
It's no good. It's no good. And so they're trying to basically stop him from leaving. And the only logical thing to do is to, when they see a cake, is to push the cake over so that it falls on him, making him fall down. As the real police and the real detectives show up,
he has shaved his mustache.
He has shaved his mustache, and we're all better for that.
They get him, but they also are going to get Petrosian.
They are, because at the end of the day,
$10 million is still missing.
It's still missing.
That's right.
It's still missing.
It's a good thing there's someone in this scene that has an eye for fashion and baubles.
And what?
Baubles.
I thought you said marbles wrong.
Baubles.
Marbles.
Marbles?
But probably also marbles.
Probably
yeah,
also
maybe
marbles.
she's a big marble head. And yeah, she notices that Mrs. Petrosian has a brooch, a very nice brooch. Well, an expensive brooch. She doesn't think that it looks nice, but it's a very expensive brooch. And she's like, I think this brooch maybe cost $10 million. And Ms. Petrosian explains that one day, way back when he still worked at the bank, she went to go visit him, saw a bag on the floor, went to throw it out, found the brooch inside of it, and that's all that you need to know.
They wanted to find the owner, but the next day he went into hiding. So
right.
what are you going to do?
What can you do, really?
What can you do?
And so he's free, and he asked Miss Dawson to marry him. They go to the wedding. Jack, Lexi, the gang, and
the clue was gotten.
That's right. The clue was gotten. Got a clue. She gives him bowling shoes. It's big fun.
It's a whole thing.
It's big fun, and that was Get a clue. We are going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to do some overtime. We're going to make our list. Then we're going to get out of here. We're going to get a clue.
Get out of here.
Okay. Decom Descendants.
Whenever you're ready, Aaron. Here we go.
Here it comes. Are you ready? Welcome back to
Decom Descendants.
I'll let you take it. Let's talk about this movie. Let's get into the overtime. It's where we share our thoughts on this movie and how we felt like it aged over time. I got some letterbox reviews if you would like them.
I would love them.
Emma says 5 stars. Tarantino effing wishes.
I don't think people hold this movie in any sentimental value at all. I don't think this is something people hold sacred.
Nabil says Lindsay Lohan could do Knives Out, but Daniel Craig couldn't do Get a Clue. Fair.
I disagree with that.
Emily says 5 stars.
He could. That's the problem is you picked it on the wrong actor who would 100% do Get a Clue.
That's true. Emily says 5 stars. I swear I couldn't even dream up some of these iconic outfits.
I'm now imagining we kicked Jack out of this.
Oh, man.
We put Daniel Craig with his Louisiana accent in.
Oh my gosh.
Here for it.
Get a clue too.
Gino says, move out of the way, Hitchcock. You're blocking Lindsay Lohan's view. Lisa says 3 stars. Lindsay
Who are you,
Lohan.
Lisa?
I don't know. Lisa with an alien emoji after her name. Lindsay Lohan and Brenda Song must be so tired from when they invented both high fashion and investigative journalism. And Get a Clue. Bethany says 3 stars. The clothes in this movie should be on display at the Smithsonian. And Wingle says sometimes a movie doesn't have to be good or even make sense. Sometimes all a movie needs is Lindsay Lohan in 2000s era outfits and preteens doing investigative journalism.
Yeah.
Is it true? Let's find out. Aaron, you saw it when you were a kid. I saw it when I was a kid.
Yeah.
How did it age over
Can't spell
time?
decom without O for overtime.
That's right. Aaron?
Yeah, you get it, Daniel. Yeah, I had a great time watching this movie in 2024. Had a great time watching this movie in 2002. I remember just wanting to be Lindsay Lohan and discover that still holds up today. I would love to be Lindsay Lohan from Get a Clue. Her hair is always on point. Her fashion is great. And she's just running around New York City with the confidence of a woman who owns that city. So good for you. The mystery is maybe a little weirder than I remember it being. Miss Dawson is...
The Dawson Walker characters of it all are weird. They're weird.
I remember them being quirky. But watching this in 2024, like... I have a lot of questions about Miss Dawson.
I'm not sure they both are all there. There's
yeah, I have a lot of questions about why she's a private school teacher. Is she okay?
Yeah.
Where is she in 2024? Is she okay? Like,
is she okay is a good one. That's a fair question to ask.
But yeah, had a great time. The theme song is iconic. Simon and Milo. The rest of that album is a little weird, but that song, it's a classic. So had a great time. I think over time, this movie is still a good DCOM choice.
Love this movie. I think it slaps. I think the characters are well lived in, felt real as, teens having access to spy gear can feel.
Duh.
But I thought that this movie did a good job overall. I think the mystery, the fact that he wasn't actually dead, made it, one, safe for DCOM, but two, like a good twist, especially when you were when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I was like, whoa, what? And then the whole reveal at the end with everybody there. Is it messy? Sure. Was it necessary? No. But it works for me. I think this movie crushes. I was excited to watch it again, and I'm excited to watch it again, in a few years. It's in the running rotation of DCOMs that I go back to. This movie rules. Dan?
Yeah, the mystery aspect of this movie is silly and doesn't hold up if you're my age. I think if you were 10, the mystery of this is like you're on the edge of your seat the whole time. And so I get that. I think what does hold up is the charisma and magnetism of Lindsay Lohan. I think them capitalizing on CSI being a huge deal, to some extent The Matrix being a big deal at that time, Ocean's 11 being a big deal, and using some of the stylistic choices from those movies, and you have this rising like bottle rocket of Lindsay Lohan. I think that works. I think this movie's trying to do a lot, and I think for 10-year-olds in 2002, it crushed. Did it work for me on that front? No, but do I appreciate the effort, and do I stand by the fact that before Lindsay Lohan was messed up by her parents or whomever messed her up, she was like an absolute superstar as a kid actor, and she just, like you said, it's like she owns the city. She's so incredibly confident. She's so charismatic. It's hard not to follow her. As a
34-year-old woman, I would love the confidence of like 14-year-old Lindsay.
It's hard not to follow her into any adventure she would like to go on. And as someone that didn't see all of Lindsay Lohan's movies when she was younger, I caught like Freaky Friday and I think Herbie Fully Loaded, but not the other ones. She is magnetic. And I think that there's something to be said of that for a movie that is trying to do a lot, capitalizes on some of the zeitgeisty things of its era, and has this absolute megawatt talent of Lindsay Lohan. You put those things together, you have a movie that 10-year-olds are going to freaking love, even if it wasn't something that I was like super locked into. I appreciated what all happened there on screen. So there's that.
About what time did Agent Cody Banks come out? It was around 2002.
Yeah.
A little after.
Yeah, I think maybe 03, but close for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely a moment where like being a spy was so
2003,
cool. Yeah, and so you just have all these movies coming out where I remember watching them being like, I could be a spy. Yeah. And I saw this movie. Yeah, I could just be all these things. I mean, I forgot to mention it in my segment earlier, but like the mystery, there are a lot of that as a kid, I was like, this is the most high stakes mystery I've ever seen. And watching it back, I have questions like, if we go through all this trouble for Nicholas to change his name to Orlando Walker, why did his mother follow him from Arizona to New York but not change her name? And why did the police not track her down if they've been looking for $10 million?
Especially like 8 to 14-year-olds are all about perceived danger, like stuff they think is danger. Like
when she's in the apartment and she opens the closet door and Max Sheffield is standing behind her.
Oh. I think this would
terrifying.
work. My kids are 8.5. I think this would work. I think my kids will be all in on this movie, even though
and
the
then
tech
they're just
is old.
running around with hijinks and you know setting up spy cameras everywhere.
I love spy cameras. Yeah. As a kid, like the
now
idea
you
of
don't,
it. No,
because
now
you're a grown up wearing a leather bomber jacket.
I
and you don't
utilize
love spy
them now.
cameras.
I wouldn't know where to get one.
You wouldn't know anything about them. You haven't set up webcams in the last week.
No.
2 weeks.
Definitely not in the last week.
No.
Definitely not in the last week.
Definitely not in the last week.
2 weeks.
2 weeks gets a little hairy.
You're doing your own room raiders. Huh?
Yeah. So it's its own thing. It's coming. Let's get to making our list. We're checking it twice. What are our thoughts on Get a Clue, where it stacks up against the rest of the DCOMs that we have seen so far? You like how he slid in that S?
DCOMs that we've seen so far.
Aaron, where are you putting this one?
Yeah, so this one is going to premiere on my top 10.
Okay.
So I'm just going to read my list.
I love it.
Number 10, we have Xenon.
Hanging on for dear life.
Hanging on for dear life.
It's not going to hang on much longer.
It's not going to hang on for much longer, but living in space is giving her that edge. Number 9, Get a Clue. I would have.
Number 9.
I know. I would have
Wow.
thought this like rated higher for me. But if you take out Lindsay Lohan, it doesn't.
It doesn't. If you take out Lindsay Lohan, it doesn't. But boy,
like,
that's a huge if.
Yeah. So
At least you've got Phantom of the Megaplex higher, which is
Yeah,
where it belongs. I
that's-
don't know where you have it, but I know that it's on your list. And it's
it's
higher.
number 8 right now.
Okay. Well, it'll be higher, but it's fine. How about me being the biggest champion of that movie? Did anybody see it coming?
It warms my heart.
I just,
Yeah.
it is what it is, man.
It's a good. It just sticks with you.
Yeah.
It's bonkers. It's a good time.
Mickey Rooney waxing poetic about film and the cinema. What else do you need?
Nothing.
Yeah. So I had a great. I mean, we are getting to that point where like, as much as I love this movie, like we have seen a lot of DCOMs at this point that I really love. So it's getting
real.
It's getting tough out there, guys.
It's getting real.
So
8, Phantom of the Megaplex.
8, Phantom of the Megaplex. 7, Halloween Town. 6, Luck of the Irish.
That's
5, Smart House. 4, Miracle on Lane 2. 3, Johnny Tsunami. 2, Cadet Kelly. 1, Motocross.
I know I do something like this every week. You think that Get a Clue is worse than Luck of the Irish? Guys, I know that it warms your heart. This land is your land. That movie is atrocious.
This land is your land.
No,
This land.
no.
You brought it up,
But
well,
like,
I had no plans
But like, it's
today.
fun to laugh about that, and the episode was fun. But just on the screen, this movie blows Luck of the Irish out of the water. Right? Is it just me?
I think from a filmmaking standpoint, yes.
Yeah. And Lindsay Lohan fashion the whole thing.
All right. Okay. Listen, I have power in my prayer room back. I will spend some time in the prayer room
War
this week.
room's got electricity.
You
I will
can't
spend some time
pray
there.
if you can't pray.
That's
there's
right.
no
Well,
power?
that's in the Bible.
Yeah. It gives
Oil in the lamps.
It gives it an out. Pray without ceasing unless you're without power
Yes.
for more
Yeah.
than 24
It's in
hours,
there.
and then you call
Well,
it
I
quits.
was praying for other things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
You
power
don't
is
want to
back.
waste your prayer time on this when you
Yeah.
don't have power.
Could you imagine
'Cause
if
that
I was
war
like,
room
hey
gets
guys,
warm.
I was going to pray for our power and for Asheville and all that,
But
but
you decided
I
to pray
decided to
about
pray
the
about Luck of the
decom
Irish instead. No, you
Selfish.
can't
That'd
do
be
that.
selfish.
Right.
Yeah.
And
You're not selfish. Yeah.
You never want that war room to become a warm room. You
A
know what
warm
I mean?
room. This is
That
would
was
be the
really
worst.
good, Dan. I
Yeah.
heard you say
would
it.
I cut my hair
Yeah.
for $10,000 and donate the money to Asheville? It's up in the air. But I would not waste prayer on DCOMs over Asheville, for sure.
Brand, where do you have this? I'm fascinated. Now, after hearing 9, I'm fascinated.
I
now.
do have it in my top 10, so I will read you my top 10. Number 10, Double Teamed. Number 9, Phantom of the Megaplex. Number 8,
Don't shout out me.
Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire. Number 7, Luck of the Irish.
You guys, okay.
Number 6, Smart House. Number 5, Cadet Kelly.
Wow.
Number 4, premiering on the list, is Get a Clue.
Wow.
Number 3, Motocross. Number 2, Johnny Tsunami. And number 1, the greatest movie of all time, Brink.
I think I'm going to go home and rewatch this movie.
I think there's too much good there to look at a movie where a woman becomes a leprechaun.
Yeah,
And-
guys, I'm going to go home and rewatch this movie on, like, I'm going to go home, get a good night's sleep.
That's right. Yeah.
Wake
we're
up
all
on
tired.
a day when I really know what day it is. It's
right.
almost like we recorded for like 7 hours last night.
Yeah.
And I'm just tired. I'll give it another shot.
Sure. I've still got thinking to do on mine. I think Get a Clue's in my top 10.
Yeah.
I also have another switch. Cadet Kelly moved up in my list.
Yeah, it did.
And it moved ahead of Halloween Town.
That's fair.
Because and it did so after watching Get a Clue, because after watching Get a Clue, I think Lindsay Lohan, and you're seated. I think Lindsay Lohan is the better child actor than Hilary Duff.
I would agree.
Yeah, but I also think her
think
career
that
at the time would back that up.
But
as well.
I think that
I mean, they were huge rivals at this time.
I didn't know anything about that, but I think that
They were fighting over Aaron Carter mostly. It was a good time.
Great.
Good time for all of us.
I think that the
want
Gary
candy.
Cole character in Cadet Kelly and his scenes push it ahead of Get a Clue, which is a movie that lives and dies on the wattage of Lindsay Lohan. So, having said all of that, number 10, Quince. Number 9, Brink. Buddy, I'm trying here, but
It's
Brink
okay.
is on the way out. Number 8, Miracle in Lane 2. Number 7, Get a Clue. Number 6, Halloween Town. Number 5, Cadet Kelly. Number 4, Phantom of the Megaplex. Number 3, Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire. Number 2, Johnny Tsunami. Number 1, best decom by far, Motocross.
There it is. There it is.
There
We've
it
done
is.
it, folks. People.
I was just
said we
trying to
couldn't.
picture in my head, like, what if we had Cadet Kelly with Lindsay Lohan? But I don't think she would have been as zany. Like, there is a part.
They're
I was trying to
super
picture in my
quirky.
head, and I do think both of these movies fit who they were.
But I just
But the supporting cast of Cadet Kelly
is better.
pushes it a little ahead.
I still think Lindsay Lohan, this is maybe where you guys are, it's a bridge too far. I think any part Hilary Duff has played as a child, if you give that role to Lindsay Lohan, it's better. But I've not seen all the movies.
I think it's different.
I don't think, and I'm not saying Hilary Duff's bad. I'm saying there was something incredibly dynamic about Lindsay Lohan when she was in all these movies. And so I just think that, and I think Hilary Duff's probably by far a better adult actor. Lindsay Lohan has had a life. But I feel
like they've almost switched.
Yes.
Because I think Lindsay, because I would say as a kid, Hilary has the roles where, yeah, she has like some touching scenes, but for the most part, like in Lizzie McGuire and in Cadet Kelly, and even in like, the Lizzie McGuire movie and all these like earlier roles, she has this like zany, quirky,
very
clumsy
quirky.
aspect to her. Whereas with Lindsay, you see more of a dynamic, heartfelt, well-rounded acting.
And she's assured. She's just so assured.
I think now we see Hilary
Flip it. Yes, I agree.
But then Lindsay's been doing all these like rom-coms
But
where
she doesn't seem like she's even confident in what she's doing.
Yes,
the material,
she
the script,
is a bit,
anything.
Yeah. Like I think about that one she did with Court Overstreet where she like
You mean Chord?
Yeah, Chord. Where she's playing like a billionaire who's never done anything for herself. Like I just keep picturing that scene where she's trying to make the bed.
Yeah.
Like that's something that 14-year-old Lindsay would never have done, but Hilary would have crushed it.
Yes.
And yeah, so
agree with that. That's a really I like that. Yep.
But yeah, I'm gonna go home and rewatch this movie because I have some things to think about.
Yeah.
You do. Listen, I think we all do.
Yeah.
I think we all do. Mine could move down. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think you guys have an attachment to Luck of the Irish that is fair because of your age, but also like in the light of day, you can't possibly think that movie holds up with the movies we're talking about.
You'd be surprised what I'm comfortable with.
That's right.
I just keep thinking about when you looked at me and asked if this movie was offensive to me, and because of the leprechauns.
You're like, yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm not offended
No.
because I don't think people think that Irish people are leprechauns.
Get out of here. Get out of
It's
here.
not making fun of my people.
Next week we
And a bunch
are.
of non-Irish people playing it.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing.
Cool.
Next week, Aaron, we're gonna dance a little bit. And if you're feeling a little down and you need some encouragement,
Are we kicking it
what
up?
do you say to yourself?
Si se puede?
Si se puede.
Si se
Gotta
puede.
kick
got
it
it. I
up.
got it.
Gotta kick it up, everybody.
America Ferrera.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Second.
And other people.
Yeah. Second billing apparently though.
Yeah, she's not the lead.
Yeah. We will be back next week with that. Until then, everybody keep on decomming.
Decom it right on up of there.
Get a clue.
Decom Descendants is a Bramble Jam podcast recorded in that Greenville, South Carolina at the Bramble Jam Podcast Network Studios. It's produced by Brandon Gray. For more information, find us on the socials at Decom Descendants, on the web, decompodcast.com. To watch us watch these movies live and much, much more, you can go to BrambleJamPlus.com.